Morning.
How gratifying is it to see your team always finding a way to get the point, get two, and that's the stuff you're talking about for quite some time.
Yeah, we although we lose the game, it was probably one of our, especially in the third period, as far as scoring chances and all that, it was one of our better periods of the season. And I don't think there's any. I don't think we dip, and we just keep on trying to play so far in this first quarter of the year, and have found some success. Have had some pretty good third periods along the way, so hopefully it'll continue.
Your players after the game the other day, I think, were more upset with their second period than you were. Is that the kind of accountability you're looking for?
Yeah, it is. As I look at it, I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was as good as I thought it was when I talked to you guys after the game. But the way we rebounded in that third and just kept on coming, I thought that was the most important thing. And to find a way to get the point, with just so few seconds left, I thought it's really good. Those are experiences that happen early in the year. Hopefully and you're in those situations again, you just look back on that and try to help you.
And again, specifically the players reacting the way they did, you want that coming out of the room rather than you having to go in and say anything.
Yeah, the room is, hopefully it's growing, and as I've said right along, I can't be in the room as much. That has to self-sustain eventually if we're going to be a good team, considered a good team, a consistent team, and so that's what we're trying to build to.
And your center position has been so questioned here the last several months is how you can compete with your guys down the middle. It's turned out to be a pretty decent group here for you. Wentberg moving up, Carlson finding a spot. Just talk about how that position has stabilized.
Yeah, I think you look at the two kids there. We've asked more of Wenny. We think he's delivered so far. Third-year pro, he's played better than last year. So as long as you see these young guys improving, I think that's very important. I think Bill has improved, has added a little bit of offense. Still looking for more. I still think there's more in him. Distributed a puck, I forget what game it was, made a great play on the wall a few games ago. We end up scoring a big goal. Zach's goal, yes, and has done a great job killing penalties. He's improved. Doobie's beginning to find his game. I think Zeds has given us some good stuff away from the puck. I still think there's offense there. Just hasn't totally found that yet. So those are our centers, and we just got to keep on getting them and improve and keep on believing, and hopefully we keep on going.
Does it feel like a liability to you now, like maybe it would have early in the season, or maybe a question mark?
No, I don't think it's a liability because of the improvement. It's such a young center ice, other than Doobie, that you wonder where they were going to be. And I think they've had good camps. I think they have just each game have gone about their business. I don't think there's been a really big dip. You're not always going to be perfect, but I think they've showed up most nights here, and that's the most important thing. And then, especially with Wenny, hopefully his skill just takes over. And he's been a very important part. Him and Zach have been a very important part of our power play. We just keep on banging away. Hey, Kelly.
How have your impressions changed as Savard since you've been here? You've had all these guys for a year now. Where is his game as far as?
Well, I'll tell you what Savvy had an injury last year when we were playing for nothing for 3 or 4 weeks at the end of the year. He played every night through an injury where a lot of guys just wouldn't have played. That impressed me. You always look at Savvy, and I look at him when he comes into camp. I say, I wonder what his weight is, but that's just the way he is. He's just a big man, and he's ugly as sin sometimes going back for pucks. I'm not sure if he's going to get there, but he does. And he's big, and he's strong, and he thinks the game. I think he's played very well for us. And
there's guys that, as they come into the league, is one thing and end up being something different. He kind of came into the league and was a prospect here as a really good offensive defenseman.
Yeah.
walk the line, that type of
Yeah.
power play guy. I mean, his game seems to have evolved over time. Do you see the guy that's also being a little stronger in front of the net?
Oh yeah. He has. I think before I came here, the year before, I think he had 12 goals. Did he not? If I'm thinking, yeah. Lars has talked to me a lot about him. Lars had him in the minors, and they kicked him around a little bit there, where they didn't think he was committed. They were worried about his weight, his conditioning, and I know Lars had a heart-to-heart with him that he was going to be gone if he doesn't get himself straightened out, as far as some of the conversations I've had with him. And I think he's matured mentally, first of all, and he's a big part of our defense. He kills penalties. He's in a lot of the key situations. He's been a big part of it, and very unassuming. Doesn't get a lot of attention, and I think at that position, that's a good thing when there's not a lot of attention put on you. So he's a foundation guy. I like that word there is, you can't win without a guy like that, and I think he served that role very well.
For those of us that haven't had the pleasure, what has allowed Zach to be able to come in and play like he has in this league?
Yeah. I just think he has a mental toughness, a mental being about himself, that he doesn't get floored by a lot. He doesn't get intimidated by a lot. I watched him in the minors. I remember the first few games in the minors, I watched him. I said, well, and Yarmo, I was with you. I said, well, where is he? I couldn't find him. And Yarmo was, just watched, and we kept on watching, and then you could see it evolve, and he's so effortless. Sometimes you say, is he ready to play? But that's just the way he is. That's his personality. He takes it in. He's very coachable, and just tries to make a difference all the time. And if it doesn't work out and he makes a mistake, he's not afraid to come back and try that play, or maybe even a more difficult play to get us out of our end zone, whatever it may be. And I think that's there. I think he's very mature for such a young guy playing the toughest position in the game, to be able to handle this in the minutes we've poured on him so quickly here in his first year pro.
When you worked with Glenn in Vancouver, that can be a tough, like a challenging spot for a guy to go into. He's been a head coach and stuff like that. What was your experience like working with him?
Oh, he was, although him, Sully, and I were only there for a year, I loved the staff. And Sully and I were glued at our hip. We had coached together for a long time together. And we both knew that we needed some different blood and different thoughts brought into our foundation as coaches and how we felt about the game. And that's where Gully was being chased by a lot of people at that point in time in the summer. A number of teams were after him. And he was driving back home, and I called him, and I could tell right on the phone call. And the phone would, I don't know where he was, but the phone would cut out, and then we'd have to pull over and call me back. And but I could tell, and just through the amount of work I did in asking people about him, that he was the right guy for us, because I think he's progressive. I think he's got a really interesting insight to the game. I think he's a terrific coach. I really do. I know it's been a little up and down here with Calgary, but I tell you, we've texted a couple of times during the year. We went through some philosophy things. There's three of us when we were going through that, the ups and downs in Vancouver. And I do think it made all three of us better coaches going through some of that stuff. And Gully always says that. He says, I'm a better coach now than I was in Dallas. It may not be in the results yet, but he is. And terrific guy, terrific family. Very intellectual about the game, and that's where the game's going. A lot of different things are being brought into coaching. And I think Gully's on top of those things. Good. Thanks, guys.